Howdy guys, I'm back. Been working on my world quite a bit, and I think I want to walk around and give a little bit of a guided tour. So I know I've been off for a couple of months, but I've been a busy guy, so it is what it is. So with the fish farm all broken, we used to be able to get bone meal and bones pretty easily, and that's all messed up. So I am building a factory here, and that the express purpose is to get bone meal. Um, so everything here, we've got a watermelon farm up top, and yeah, we'll get to this in a second. But I discovered something that used to be a Java only feature, which they've apparently added to Bedrock, and that's that observers will now observe stem growth on mushroom or not mushrooms, yeah, watermelons or pumpkins. So that's cool. So what we're doing is banking. Like I'm standing on one of the banks. We have observers facing this direction and pistons facing the other direction. And when one of these observers notices a change in stem growth, the entire thing fires off. Now, right now, because I just planted, we're going to get some false positives, and they will fire for no real reason. But once everything gets mature, then it'll start, noticing the watermelons growing. So I'm still working on that. We've got a rail collection system underneath. And I built the building before I built this. So I'm kind of having to piece it in here. It's not exactly symmetrical or anything, but it is what it is. And then in the center, we've got those composters down underneath those hoppers. And the rail cart line is going to go across that. We're going to have an unloader of some sort. I got to research that and come up with a better unloader system. But that's the idea, and then we'll send the minecart off, but it'll go through and collect everything, and then come back to an unloader, and we'll directly make bone meal hands-free. So it'll just come right out of there, right down into here, and into the chests, which I see that I did that wrong. I'm going to have to lower that a little bit, but that's okay. Also, if you're seeing particle effects from this floor, it's a slab floor, and there's torches all down underneath here, so that's why we're getting all those weird little particles once in a while. There they are. Okay. All right, so kind of a neat looking building too. So I was looking, trying to do something quite industrial looking, and I did some looking around on Google on just like factory buildings, and came up with like the one had these cool like slits in the front like this, and I think that was actually a Volkswagen factory, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I know a Volkswagen factory was one of them. It was pretty neat looking. So yeah, off in the distance, there's a lot of work done up there. And we've got this spectacular tree. I'm not really good at doing custom trees, or maybe not experienced at doing custom trees. So this is my try at a custom tree. We got lime glass panes that are kind of drooping down, kind of make it look a little maybe like a weeping willow. Maybe a little custom pond going on over here. Lots of light sources down in there. Just I've been working on these trails or roads or whatever, and I came up with this too. Upraised piston. Down underneath there's a light source, and it spills light up through. And then of course we have the lanterns up there, but they don't do a very good job, because the further up you put your light source, the smaller the radius winds up being on the ground. You got a dock and a boat. Kind of reminds me of a lobster boat, but they're lowering hay bales down into there on the chain. What is up with this? How come Bedrock doesn't have horizontal chains yet? I don't know, but I know Java does. All right, so we'll go up there and check out what's going on up there. I don't have a bed with me, so kind of have to pay attention to what time it is. Now, some of this stuff is just temporary up here. This was my original pumpkin and melon farm down underneath of here. It's the same thing that's going on over there, basically. Also, I had to put water, lights underneath the water source here to keep the water from freezing, because I'm obviously up high enough that I get snow up here. And we have the watermelon tower. Yeah, something different. I've never seen watermelons used this predominantly in a building. I said, what the heck? So that was why I built the farm. It's pretty nice with the crying obsidian. I really like that block. I think it goes really well with the green and the the shroom lights. So, there we go. Just about at the top. I think there's a way out of here. I think I can fly out. There we go. It goes a little bit further, but that's pretty much it. And of course we get this tower over here, and I don't have a guardian farm, so what I basically did was just went out and found two of the monuments and tore them down, and just brought back the resources. Now down here, I don't know what this is going to be yet. It's just a big circle, clearly, but it's going to be something. So quite a lot's going on in the world. And we got the trail. Also, I leveled up a big area back in here. This used to be like a swamp valley that went up through here, and I totally cheated. Now that's normally I solid fill, but it was such a huge area that just wasn't possible. I think there's a way to sneak under here. If I can just, there we go, swim, there we go, and we're in. So this is what I roofed over to create that huge level spot, but it's pretty much mob proof. I need to go find a bed. Actually, there is one over here. So let's head for that. And this is my starter base here. Right there. I ripped out the old pig farm and all that stuff. Boop. Okay. Sleep, sleep, sleep. And we got this cool road here. I'll follow that in a minute, but I thought about doing like a mansion or something up here, but I've been gathering quartz to do so. And man, quartz is a tough resource to get. Like the piglin trading does some, you get some off that, but not nearly as much as you could. And the one time I played on a Java server, we had it set up where you would get quartz as drops from killing zombie pigmen, and that was a pretty cool way to go. You could actually come up with a fair amount of quartz that way. So just that road's going to have a bridge over here eventually, and then loop around this kind of somewhat level area and come in maybe over in here. So there will be another road kind of zipping off, let's say, in this direction going towards the factory. So maybe hook it here and come around here and then right up to the factory entrance. So let's do one of the bays. And yeah, I know, this is like the most time-consuming staircase in the world, but it's fun and it's pretty and it's different and it's cool, so why not? All right, so what do we need to do? I needed to put my observers in the next line and get the redstone on the top and plant my watermelon seeds. There's that. Okay. And now we can put our redstone on top. And we got a water source there, good. Because you have to have, your water down before you go ahead and plant. So we go, boom. Underneath the observers, put down your watermelon seeds, and they'll immediately start firing because it's noticing that block has changed. And we got to go to the other side and do the same thing. Yep, not that one. So if that happens, that's a problem because watermelons won't grow there. So just take a block of whatever, if I can do this, there. Okay, and then just keep going because it'll convert it back over to dirt. All right. And then the one other thing that I've been doing is kind of putting a lid in here just to keep anything out of the water because there's no way to harvest anything if it does get down in the water. And my screen is messing up on me. All right, there we go. So there we go. It's lidded over, and then I'm just going to drop some torches on there to hopefully prevent mobs from spawning up in here. And this is a 100% survival world, like achievements are still on and all that. So, and then we just do the same thing over here. We already got our water down, but get our pistons up there. So I put in some temporary blocks, really doesn't matter what kind, and then start with the pistons. So it'll be piston facing down, temporary block, and so on and so forth until you get to the end. And on this side, just put your pistons alternating so that they're not in the same, in line with the other ones. I don't know that it would matter. I guess you could do it either way, but and then you go up top and put in your observers and remove your temporary blocks. So we'll start putting those in. Boop, boop, boop. And then just wrap your redstone on top, and that's another bay pretty much done. I'll have to plant the melons in a minute. All right, so that's how that works, and it does in fact work. So, all right, what else we got going on? Well, we've got some epic failures going on too. My iron farm broke because of the update. Although it's one of them still functional, the other one broke because all the villagers learned how to climb scaffolding, and that's a real problem because they all went up, and the second that I landed on the top of it and opened the trapdoor, which is how I was accessing, I had it where it was basically a trading hall with these guys. They all went up the scaffolding, got stuck. I opened the trapdoor, and I had the villager explosion. I was not supposed to fall down there. Okay, we'll just hop up this way. All right, so this, I don't know, this area is real laggy. Whenever I fly in, just does not like to do anything. There's still a couple of villagers left in there. But look, if you can see in that glass block right there, you see that belt buckle? Yeah, there's like 5 of them stuck in there. And if I open up the top, they all just like explode up and then get washed down into the golem kill chamber. So I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm not sure how to fix that right now. What? Okay, well, it's lit. I don't know why it's lit. But this one is, for whatever reason, still working just fine. Yeah, they didn't get stuck. I don't know. I think I did go over here and remove the scaffolding because of that. Preventative maintenance. When one went, it was like, oh geez, I better go fix the other one. Otherwise, I'm not going to have any source of iron. But this one's still working just fine. And the rates are still quite good with 20 villagers in there. And I had done a previous video on that. I've gotten a lot of iron out of this thing since then. I think I just cleaned it out, so there shouldn't be... Oh, wow. Not bad. There's already a stack in there. Cool. And the mob farm. This is really a good design, I gotta say. Like, I've had mob farms in the past. This one's great because you can either use your looting 3 sword and get higher drops, with the trident kill chamber, or they'll do it, they'll die manually because they'll come down onto the magma blocks and die. And there you go. I clean out the rotten flesh pretty often and just go ahead and throw it over to my villager trading back in here because I'm trying to get to that achievement of 1,000 emeralds, and I think I'm like, I don't know, halfway or so. But a lot of it I've done off of Wi-Fi, so it doesn't count towards the totals, as far as I know. All right, guys. So let's get this industrial area done up a little bit more, and I'll be back. So one other question that I had was watermelons, slices versus whole watermelons, and the rate that I would get through a composter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stack of regular watermelons in here. Now, when you break watermelon blocks, you get between 3 and 7 watermelon slices. So I'm going to put 5 because that's right in between the two. I figured that would be the average. 5 stacks of watermelon slices. Now the question is, how much bone meal do I get off of each go? So this is watermelons, and this is, must be this side, watermelon slices. And we'll let that run and see what happens. I'm hoping that watermelon slices yield higher amounts than watermelons, because when you break watermelons with pistons, you get watermelon slices, in which case watermelons are a better source of bone meal, if this is true, than pumpkins. Because pumpkins and watermelons would give, yeah, you get the idea. They would give the same rates. So. Well, so far, yeah, they're in the lead. Look at that. They're up to 9. These are up to 6. In fact, I think it may have used them all. Yeah. So 6 for a whole stack of watermelons. And we're still going on the watermelon slice. We're about halfway and we're already at 12. That's excellent news. Okay. That's what I wondered. Science with Nightshade. Okay, so we are up and running now. This side started to produce some watermelons. This side is still maturing, so there's nothing mature over there yet. We have our unloader system, and this is a design borrowed directly from Prowl. And it works reliably, and it's pretty cheap to build. So basically, minecart comes in here. If it's got things in it, there's a comparator underneath. Yeah, there. So it's unloading right now, and then it goes off. So there's a comparator underneath facing that way, right there. And then a redstone torch on the back of that block underneath the repeater. And then you put the repeater into a solid block. And then powered rail here. Skip a beat, and then over to powered rail. So this one turns off if there's anything in the minecart. It bounces back up to here and stops. And then as soon as it's unloaded, the comparator says, oh, there's nothing in there, and up and running it goes. And actually, I didn't quite do it right. In his design, that hopper is aimed at that hopper, but for whatever reason, it's still working. I just noticed that. So anyway, as long as it's working, that's what we need. And it is. All right, so we can fly up here and kind of take a look. There's going to be probably another floor to this, and I'm not sure what to add to it. Maybe kelp or, sugar cane or something like that. Just naturally growing. But once this gets up and rolling, we should be making bone meal plenty. Now that's a lot of observers. I actually had to go back to the nether and grab some more and, fight with ghasts and all that kind of happy stuff. But we got her done, and that's a lot of pistons too. So fortunately I did have quite a bit of wood on hand because I had done some dark oak farming a while back, and that came in handy. And yep, just about out of redstone though. I had to go buy some from villagers, so I'm down to 8 pieces of redstone, I believe. Yeah, 8 pieces. Nah, have to go on a mining session. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you liked it, leave that thumbs up. Thanks so much. Have a good day.